coming into this match.
Oh, sorry?
What did they not know about your team? What were they counting out? What did you show us that you actually knew how to do well? I mean, that first match, you were so dominant.
I don't think we did something specific. We just play whole game.
They also mentioned that a lot of times they thought that sometimes you rely on specific players, but when you all show up doing your best together in a symphony, then it really works out for you. Do you feel like that's what happened here?
Yeah, I think Shaiko did a lot on the first map, but after we managed to all play as a team, and that's what happened.
I also wanted to say, I saw in chat someone said that BDS becomes stronger every match. So your fans are seeing you. Do you have anything to say to your fans?
Merci la France.
All right, guys, one more time for BDS. Back to you, Des. Thank you very well done.
Thank you so much, Anna. And this is pretty heartbreaking. Dev, Marta, Apex, Last Hope, they are now going home. They beat them like they stole something, man. What was going on with Fnatic?
I really don't know what happened on Cafe. Map number 2, we did see a flash of greatness once they started to make that comeback, and I was really, I mean, you and me.
Oh, we were excited. We were yelling in the crowd.
We were getting hyped for it, and I think that really started when Fnatic took their tactical pause after BDS had won 11 rounds in a row. They take their tac pause, they followed that up with 2 clutches, and after that, Mentalist, Magnet, all the boys, they were so hyped up. But that said, BDS had already extended their lead so far, they didn't let that potential reverse sweep get to them, and like Alem said, BDS just played their game and they're damn good at it.
Yeah, Emzo, BDS looked like the playmakers that we first saw from Fnatic. It was like BDS were saving strats and whatever it was until this type of matchup. Everybody was a playmaker. Who didn't die in the first map?
Oh,
Was it Renshiro?
I think it was Renshiro.
Or Rafal.
He didn't die the
I think it was
entire map.
insane. Rafal was nuts both. He was actually the top-rated player, which is a huge surprise to us because we were expecting him to be a lot lower. Everyone did their job.
Everybody now on BDS is starting to wake up, and this team is looking pretty formidable. As Europe's last team here, no G2, no Empire. BDS are actually looking like the better team here today.
I mean, to be honest, most of the rounds that Fnatic won were off of mistakes that BDS was making. Not necessarily that Fnatic were playing a lot better after the attack pause. They just were a little better collected and able to take advantage of a lot of that. Just small mistakes they make. There was that kind of hot breach round as well that caught a little bit by surprise, but that was a kind of a one-off sort of thing. Overall, BDS showed they had control and composure when they needed it at almost all times. You even saw RXWD. He was technically the lowest rated player on the team, still going off on this map. So if everyone can keep that up, I'm going to see a BDS that we didn't see the rest of the week.
Now for Fnatic, okay, this makes sense to me. They're not losers even though they lost. This team, they're really good. I really love the team change that they had, bringing in Tex. Mentalist did a fantastic job. But looking into the future, what's the expectations for this team now that they've made it this far in 6 Invitational?
It's important to remember that this is a fairly new roster still. They had to rework 90% of what they do when they brought on Tex and Mentalist. Wow. And they're still getting used to that. Tex in particular, he played for a much lower tier ANZ Pro League team before this, and I think they're still figuring out how they want to play their game. And coming to this event, it's a huge experience. I know they were gunning for the win, but I think they'll take a lot out of this. And looking forward into 2020, I think we expect them to remain the #1 APAC team and potentially push internationally further for those championships.
Yeah, because we don't talk about APAC much. We always hear about NA and EU, a little bit about LATAM, and then APAC is like, we'll see them at 6.
I mean, we're like, well, we'll see Fnatic.
Yeah, we'll see Fnatic.
I mean, we've missed them a few times, but that's almost a guarantee.
Maybe Nora, maybe Fnatic, who knows?
Yeah, so because of that, we also, kind of take it as a foregone conclusion, don't pay a ton of attention. Maybe we didn't see Tex coming, but I think that they showed enough over the week that at this point, BDS did see him coming. My biggest problem is Tex is looking like a very one-dimensional Ashe player. And while he tried some other ops, overall, if he can expand what he can do for the team the way Virtue has done, because Virtue was in that same place before, then obviously this team comes back much stronger. That's really the biggest weakness I see from them, because when he's losing these entries, they're losing a lot of control early. And on defense, yeah, he's had some plays that he could make occasionally, but he's also getting caught out a lot. So I think if they could expand with him, as you said, rework those strats, the roles that they're playing, Mentalist being new to the team as well, I think this team will come back so much stronger. This will not be the last time we see them on stage, but it will be for this weekend.
You know what I want to see from Fnatic? I want to see some more energy, man. Mentalist, he was the hype man for that team. And it wasn't just Tex losing gunfights. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give Tex a pass for now. He's never played on a stage this big before. He's never played against teams this good before. But even Virtue getting turned on by the guy in the main lobby and everything else, Fnatic just wasn't there. But enough about them. BDS, who's your MVP?
It's pretty easy to say, I think, that
Okay.
Shaiko was a standout player. Yes, I want to credit players like Renshura. Even RX, though, he was rated the lowest in terms of stats. But Shaiko, how can you say it? This man is a god.
Absolutely. So Rafael had better stats than him, but Shaiko's entry, 7-2, that's big, because every time Shaiko stepped foot into the building, map 1 and 2, he was always there to get the first blood, and that just put his team up in so many numbers, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they had no answer for him.
Rafael's rating was only higher because he died less, is
Yeah.
what it came down to, really.
Yeah, and Shaiko had a 4.0 KD on the first map. That's the kind of stats that you get if you're a diamond smurfing in copper.
4-point KD.
Yeah, 4.0 KD, no joke. And Shaiko, something I will say for him is it's not just like he's playing selfishly, he's playing to pad his stats.
Yeah.
There were rounds on Consulate near the end there where we saw RX trying to hold yellow stairs, and Fnatic really put RX onto the pump on the Clash. Shaiko was always there to come in and support and help the Clash hold down those yellow stairs. And moments like this where he just runs into CEO and really puts a thorn in
That
Fnatic's
shouldn't
side.
happen.
No, that really shouldn't be happening. Where Shaiko can just take a gunfight that is unfavored, but he knows he's going to win it.
Yes. Also, Alims and everyone else on this team are stepping up. We were actually laughing at Alims' play style. He plays really slow. He waits for people to cross lanes, and he'll pick up a 2K or a 3K here or there. Alims was explosive, especially on Consulate.
I mean, I feel like they just all looked like they had something to prove. They were all not in a way of like, I'm going to take really risky, dumb things. It was they were going to take advantage of every opportunity they were given. Every inch Fnatic took, they were going to take at least a foot, and mostly take their feet off.
Yeah, they took a yard.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really everyone's stepping up. I mean, I don't know if they can keep that up, to be honest, because the dominating play we saw was because everyone on the team was stepping up and shining. That's hard to do consistently.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they made it this far. If they can keep that up, as we said, they're the last hope for EU. But at the same time, we've seen how NA can be. This is
Oh, don't jinx it, Imzo.
This is
Don't jinx it. We have 3 tries now.
That's what I mean. We have 3 tries. Who
All
am I even jinxing at this point, right? We got NA's getting it. We know they're in the grand finals. They're
Right.
getting there. It's just a question whether EU can make it that far.
All right.
What I will say though for BDS, if we want to dive more into like the analytical side of how these
Please.
guys actually won that, I want to say we talk a lot about their defenses because that's when Shaiko's running around on Jaeger, but their attacks, you really need to credit how they managed to go up. What was it, 5-1 on the first half of Consulate?
Yeah.
Fnatic, they came out of map number 1, they really struggled, 0-7, not getting a single round, and I like the idea from Fnatic. They wanted to play hyper aggressive, and BDS read them like a book. There were so many moments when BDS would find frags onto the Fnatic players while they were trying to rotate, while they were trying to get aggressive. So many moments when, for example, there was one particular round where Fnatic were roaming on the top floor for a garage defense, and they decided they were going to hold on as long as they can and then drop down the CEO hatch. We saw a player, I believe it was a Lems, all the way outside, way out in spawn, looking through the piano windows, just waiting for that drop, and that was a freebie for them. That wasn't the only occasion. This was happening left, right, and center for BDS.
I love analytics. I love deep diving strategies. And Imzo, you have a telestrator in front of you, man. What do you want to show us today?
I mean, I want to show part of what made that so effective was their anticipation, their crosshair placement, just the way they were on top of where the players were going to be. Time and time again, the angles that they played absolutely worked out here. We're going to take a look at, first off, Shaiko's ace and how that worked out for them. Once we get in the telestrator there, you can see, so in this position, he's already gotten 1 kill on Virtue. He's got a player here up on Skylight, which he's already in a dangerous position fighting. Players back here in red. Someone's even repelling back there on piano, but he's totally on top of it. You can see as we go through this, he is absolutely on top of the angles, checking angle after angle after angle. You see fighting 3 different angles you can see right there. He's fighting not only the Skylight, but he's got a hole right there, the doorway right here, fighting all of them. You take a look at it from the top-down perspective as well. You can see, oops, sorry, this is the one. There we go.
Wrong replay, man.
Yeah, there's so many good ones, honestly. So this is from the top-down angle. You can see Shaiko all the way over here. He's in a super exposed spot to the Skylight, and players all over the place. They've got angles from so many different sidelines. You know, you've got this player right here. Once he comes around, you've got a player here. He's covering, as well as trying to cover from anyone covering in this way and into Christmas from Pixel Spot. But he's playing all of those angles absolutely lined up. Everyone's just walking into his shots because he's playing so many different angles at once. You even see towards the end of the round, he goes, you know what, I know where this last guy is now, and just pushes up aggressively to him. See him creeping up right there. Absolutely just pushing straight towards him. That's confidence, and that's anticipation of knowing where that. And you can see that as well from RXWD. This is the other one I was going to show. That's what you saw for a second there. The way RXWD, he'd already got 2 kills. The way he lines this up here, he comes in and fires straight through the bomb. He's firing through a crack in the bomb, but he anticipates the doorway. It's the angles. They know where everyone is going to possibly be at. And that's why we saw so many wall bangs, pre-fires, kills like that, because they anticipated. If you even watched Shaiko's crosshair placement the whole match, he's on the edge of every doorway. He's on the top of every window. He knows where they're going to be before they know they're going to be there.
Now, the first highlight you showed on Telestrator, I actually wanted to point out, I love Mentalist, man, so don't get it wrong, all right, Dev Marta? Mentalist actually, he had that round in the bag. He was on top of Skylight. He saw 2 players running around into that cigar doorway. He wasted both of his Capital fire bolts, missed some shots, peppered a few of them in there, but he wasn't able to secure the kill, and then ultimately Shaiko shut him down.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult. Contrary to what you might think, it's really difficult to take fights from the Skylight, looking at the tight angles near the Skylight.
Yeah.
It's not so bad if you're looking into Freezer, but as a defender, you're actually favored in those gunfights because there's only 1 pixel where the attacker's head can be, so Shaiko can just pre-fire that. That said, yeah, there was definitely a bit of a lackluster.
They were running around.
Be mild.
He wanted to get killed, and he didn't kill him.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, even the long angles, the one in particular that I was impressed by Shaiko on that ace was he was really cautious of the opened walls between bar and piano, looking all the way into where that piano sits and the window, the player rappelling in from that. He was aware of that angle as well, so truly impressive. I really liked what we saw from Shaiko on defense, on both maps. To be honest.
On everything that they did. So BDS moves on, Europe stays alive, and we have an update on the bracket. Let's throw it up on the screen and take a look at who they will be playing next. They're going to be waiting for the winners of the second game of the day, excuse me, the last game of the day, because we have a show match between Dark Zero Esports and NIP. How excited are you guys for that matchup?
I mean, after what we saw from BDS today, it was very impressive. It was far better than what we'd seen from them throughout the week. And obviously they spent the time yesterday that they had off really prepping for this, but now they've got to prep for the next opponent. They have some idea who it might be, but you know, you got to prep for every opponent at this point. And they showed they were willing to prep and willing to do the work. And as the amount of opponents is reduced, they start to get better and better at that. So if they can keep up the gunning and top the strategy on top of that, their teams are just going to have to start to look at how do we counter that.
Yes.
And I would love to see how, if NIP do make it through Dark Zero, no, I know that's not guaranteed,
game, man.
but if NIP does, and we see BDS versus NIP, the way that BDS was countering the aggression from Fnatic, especially on a map like Consulate where we've seen NIP do so well in the past, I would love to see those 2 teams clash and see how those play styles intertwine.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is it at the desk here today with me and these 2 beautiful guys. You're going to be a part of the show match, right?
Yep.
Both of you.
Yeah, we're going to be
Have
casting.
a good time.
All right, so we have a beautiful show match coming up soon in the last game of the day, NIP versus Dark Zero. We'll see you guys after the break.